Soldiers, around 10 of them, appear from around the last building on the edge of town, emerging from behind the solar bike shop. One calls out in our language, shouting, "Stop!" I look at my sisters and Jody's. I can see it in their eyes. We're all in sync. The horses know, and they go. The soldiers are on foot and no match for us as we gallop away. We all know where to go. Mother is alone, and hopefully Sid might show up on his own. We need to get to her before anyone else does. We ride all the way back to Newland's former home, emerging from the forest into the field we must cross before reaching the walls of the home my family has been tasked with watching over. Ashley leads the way. She pulls back on her reins, causing her horse to rear. She stays mounted like it's nothing and turns the horse to face us. We manage to stop our horses in time. "Go!" she yells and kicks her horse into a gallop, charging past us. I didn't see what she saw, but I trust her. Whatever it was, it's best to listen. We retreat into the forest. The tension in the air is thick. The horses sense it. They're on edge. But we press on, following a trail that's rarely used. The path is a mess, littered with fallen branches and brush. Our horses leave the only tracks. It's clear this trail hasn't been used in a long time. We begin climbing into the mountains. The horses are still giving it their all, sweat lathering their chests and legs, white and thick, like soap. Jody's is the first to dismount and walk her horse. I can't push her any farther with my weight and deal with this overgrowth at the same time, she explains. She's right. The horses are starting to stumble, and the overgrowth is dense. We all dismount and lead our animals. The trail becomes increasingly rocky, and the further we go, the less it looks like a trail at all. Ashley says, "I know there's a lake with a couple of cottages just over the peak. I remember seeing it when Sulena and I flew around the island." A little worried, Sadira asks, "How can you be sure this is the right trail?" Ashley replies, "It has to be. It's the only one I know of that hasn't been explored." I ask Ashley, "Back at Newland's home, what was it that you saw?" "An army, not Queen Rosaline's. The few flags I saw were red and yellow. I didn't recognize them." Jodis interrupts, "That's the prince from across the sea, Prince Daner's army." I blurt out, "Prince Daner? This is the first I've heard of him." Ashley adds, "Does Rosaline know who he is?" Jodis replies, "She most certainly does." Sadira asks, "Jodis, why do you say it like that?" Jodis smiles. "The prince has visited Thressalon before. Rosaline knows him." I say to Jodis, "Neither Rosaline, Sulena, nor Isabel has ever mentioned him to us." Jodis responds, "Why would they?" "After everything, Rosaline declined his proposal." I shrug. "I guess you have a point. But if he was a threat, you'd think she would have at least said something." Jodis glances sideways. "Maybe it's not him who's the threat." Ashley's instincts are right. The incline levels off, and the forest opens up to a lake. We stop momentarily to let the horses drink at the water's edge and cool down. In the distance, at the far end of the lake, we see two cabins standing side by side, just off a small bay. Saidira, studying the landscape, suggests, "I'd rather not continue on that trail if we don't have to. The overgrowth is too much, and the insects are terrible. I think we can make it by maneuvering along the shore. Besides, the horses have had enough." Ashley agrees. "That will be best for everyone." I ask, "Ashley, besides the soldiers, did you see any sign of Sid or Mom before you turned us around?" Number Y only saw the soldiers, and I knew it was all wrong. Jodis gently pushes, "Think, Ashley. Maybe you caught a glimpse of them? You see everything." Jodis, "Stop it. I saw soldiers, that's all. They were on the shore and all over Newland's property. I didn't see Mom or Sid, and I doubt she got out before they arrived." No one speaks for a moment, not even Jodis, who usually speaks with such certainty. Even she seems unsure now. Whatever is happening, she knows some of it, but not everything. There's no way to fully understand the ambushers' agenda. All we can do is hope that Mom and Sid are being treated well. Deep down, I suspect Sid was likely taken in town. The horses finish drinking, and we wash the sweat off ourselves and our animals. We begin walking them toward the two cottages, which are about 10 minutes away on foot. I wonder who they belong to. They don't seem to be visited often. Nature has taken over the path. Times like these, flying suits would be nice, but we have to do without an advantage. The first cottage we reach is a two-story structure, a little white building with a black roof and a red balcony. The basement is only accessible from outside. A tiny sandy beach stretches out nearby. We decide it's best to tie the horses to the support beams of the balcony before we investigate. Saidira says, "There are the steps to the door, just over here." She walks up a small hill, through a gate, and up 10 or so steps to the door of the cottage. Ashley follows. The two begin checking for a way inside without causing damage by forcing open the door or windows. I stay back with Jody's and the horses. I ask, "Do you think we're safe here?" Jodis contemplates, slowly stepping back and forth as though soothing herself, arms crossed and looking everywhere but at me. "We're not far enough away. We may be safe for a day or two, but that's all I give it before we need to move on." Jodis, "What would you have us do?" Her cheeks flush. She gives me a sideways glance. "If it were just me, I would journey across the ocean to the prince's lands. I feel those are his soldiers, and they don't tend to look for people like us on their own soil." Frustrated, I reply, "That is not an option. We have no flying suits. The town is taken over, and we have no access to the ships." Before Jodis can reply, Saidira peeks over the railing. "We picked the lock," I answer. "That's great. We'll be right up." I turn to Jodis. "We can talk options with the girls in a bit." Jodis nods, and we walk up to investigate the cottage. It's a nice little place with a living area, indoor plumbing, 4 tiny bedrooms, just big enough to fit a bed into each, and a kitchen. The first thing we check for is food. Whoever owns this cottage stocked the cupboards full of preserves, so that's one less chore for us. Apart from the air being a little musty, it's a good place to bunker down for a day or two while we think things through and prepare to move on if needed. I say, "This is a nice little place. It's hard to believe these cottages are up here and in such good shape, considering how long it looks to have been unoccupied." Ashley says, "It was good that Sulena had taken me on those flights. Without that, I would have never known." Saidira asks, "Do you think we're being followed? Should we perhaps make camp in the forest before using the cottage?" Ashley answers, "I'm sure they didn't see us." I remind her, "The ones in town did." Ashley shakes her head and responds, "Yes, but the only thing they know is that we headed in the direction of Newland's property. They never caught up to us, and the ones at Newland's home, I'm sure they didn't see us." Jodis repeats, "We should be safe for a day or two. When the two groups of soldiers regroup and realize we haven't been found, they'll get curious and come looking. We won't be hard to find." I ask, "What does everyone want to do?" Saidira offers her opinion. "The horses need a good rest, and so do we. This place has it all." Ashley adds, "I agree. We could also do an inventory and take some things that might be useful once we're on the move." I reply, "I think that's probably our best move." Jodis, what are your thoughts? She agrees with a simple nod and a bow of her brown eyes. It's settled. We stay for the night. Ashley continues, "Okay then. I'm going to take care of the horses, get them settled for the night. Taylan, could you help?" "Sure," Jodis adds, "I can work on the inventory." Saidira leans over to Jodis and offers, "I'll help you." Keeping busy is good. It keeps my mind off things, and besides, it's all work that needs to be done anyway. Ashley and I walk down the steps and around the corner to where the horses are and where the basement doors are located. It's a walkout basement, meaning that from the water it looks like a 2-story structure, but when you walk around the back and up the hill, it's only the second floor that's above ground. The basement is underground. Ashley takes only a few moments to pick the lock, and we're in. Off to the left, there's a workbench fully equipped with tools. To the right, there's open space for the horses. It isn't a barn, but it's enough room to get the horses out of sight and sheltered for the night. Ashley's first instinct is to check out the tools. She immediately picks up a small axe, rope, a carving knife, and a fishing tackle box, and starts to make a small pile. I start looking for more rope. I need to section off the right side so the horses don't wander into the workbench area. This cottage seems fully equipped, and it's not long before I uncover the rope and section off the basement. One by one, I bring the horses in, remove their saddles, and Ashley joins me to help clean them off. We find a couple of pails and fill them with lake water. It'll have to do for the night. Then Ashley and I take a wheelbarrow and some garden shears to cut back the cottage's lawn so the horses have a snack for the night. It's dark by the time we get in, but we're warmly greeted by a wood stove burning to heat our well-worked bodies, warm up food, and take the dampness out of the air. Sadira and Ashley seem to have found the switches to power up this self-sufficient little cottage. Ashley looks out the balcony window that overlooks the lake. I'm not sure what she's looking for. It's pitch black out there. She says, "We're the only spot of light on this lake," as though surprised. I ask, "Were you expecting to see other cottages lit up?" She answers with a yawn, I'm not sure. We've never been alone like this. Everywhere we've been, there's always been at least a neighbor, a town, or something." She finishes with a shrug. Jody says, "We aren't that far away." Ashley agrees. That's true. For the evening's entertainment, or distraction, I'm not sure which word fits better, we go over Ashley and Sadira's inventory lists and decide what to take and what to leave behind. Then we retire for the night. I settle on a top bunk in one of the tiny bedrooms. There's a small window, and even with it closed, I can still hear the gentle waves stirred by the wind on the lake. This is a nice little place, and I don't think I've ever seen a lake quite like this. The lake breeze is similar to the ocean's, except it's not nearly as strong and lacks the salty smell the ocean breeze carries. I find a comfortable spot on the foam bed. There's a slight musty scent. Not moldy, just that smell things get when they haven't been used in a long time, that old smell. It's not unpleasant, really. In fact, it's a bit comforting. It tells me the owners likely haven't been here in a while and probably won't show up to find us in their cottage. Maybe I'll leave a note explaining why we had to break in and use their things. It's a small island, and I'm sure we know the owners. The thought makes me restless. I turn over, readjust, and close my eyes for the night.